The world teeters on the edge of a nuclear abyss. Thousands of nuclear weapons, each capable of apocalyptic destruction, are scattered across the globe. Though the Cold War has ended, the specter of nuclear war looms as a chilling reality. The arsenals of the United States and Russia alone hold enough firepower to annihilate entire cities, leaving behind a wasteland of radioactive desolation. But the peril isn't confined to superpower standoffs. Regional conflicts, fueled by political instability and access to increasingly sophisticated weaponry, pose a grave risk. The potential for miscalculation, accident, or the actions of a rogue state cannot be underestimated. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, a stark reminder of how close we came to the brink, serves as a potent symbol of this ever-present danger. Yet amidst this precarious balance, a terrifying truth persists. The systems and protocols designed to prevent nuclear war are as fallible as the humans who operate them. The decision to unleash such cataclysmic power rests in the hands of political leaders, individuals subject to the same pressures and emotions as anyone else. History is replete with examples of near misses, communication breakdowns, and moments of sheer luck that averted catastrophe. The very existence of nuclear weapons poses a fundamental question. Can humanity, with all its flaws and capacity for violence, be trusted with such power? The answer, as we navigate an increasingly uncertain future, remains to be seen. The responsibility to prevent nuclear war rests not just with those in power, but with every individual on this planet. Deep within the bowels of the Pentagon, shrouded in secrecy and operating under a veil of utmost confidentiality, lies the nerve center of America's nuclear arsenal, the United States Strategic Command. Here, a dedicated cadre of military personnel stands watch 24/7, their fingers hovering over the button that could unleash unimaginable destruction. They are the guardians at the gate, entrusted with the awesome responsibility of protecting the nation from nuclear attack. The President of the United States, as Commander-in-Chief, holds sole authority to order a nuclear strike. In the event of an imminent threat, a carefully choreographed protocol swings into action. The President, advised by top military and civilian officials, would receive a real-time assessment of the situation, including the nature of the attack, its origin, and potential targets. Time in such a scenario becomes a precious commodity. The President would have mere minutes to weigh the options, to decide whether to retaliate or seek alternative solutions. This limited window of decision-making is critical, as every second counts in preventing further escalation or mitigating the impact of an incoming strike. The weight of the world, quite literally, would rest on their shoulders. The consequences of their decision, irreversible and far-reaching, would reverberate for generations to come. The process, while seemingly straightforward on paper, is fraught with potential pitfalls. Communication breakdowns, technical glitches, or even the misinterpretation of data could have catastrophic consequences. The human element, with all its inherent fallibility, remains the weakest link in the chain of command. Despite the meticulous protocols and advanced technologies designed to prevent a nuclear catastrophe, the system is far from infallible. One of the most glaring vulnerabilities lies within the Russian Tundra system. This early warning network, designed to detect incoming missile attacks, operates under extreme conditions in some of the harshest climates on Earth. The Tundra system, with its vast network of radar stations and satellites, is not immune to technical malfunctions or human error. Harsh weather, equipment failures, and outdated technology can all contribute to false alarms. In 1995, a Norwegian research rocket was mistaken for a potential nuclear missile, leading Russia to initiate its nuclear briefcase protocols. Fortunately, the situation was de-escalated, but it highlighted the fragility of the system. Communication between the US and Russia, the world's two largest nuclear powers, is another critical flaw. During the Cold War, direct communication channels like the red phone were established to prevent misunderstandings that could lead to nuclear war. However, these channels are not always foolproof. Miscommunication, language barriers, and the sheer complexity of the systems involved can lead to delays and confusion. In a high-stress scenario where minutes could mean the difference between peace and annihilation, these flaws are magnified. Moreover, the potential for cyber attacks on nuclear command and control systems adds another layer of risk. Both the US and Russia have invested heavily in cyber capabilities, and the possibility of hackers infiltrating these systems cannot be ruled out. A successful cyber attack could disrupt communications, manipulate data, or even trigger false alarms, pushing the world to the brink of disaster. In the end, the nuclear weapon system, while designed with the utmost care, remains a house of cards. The stakes are unimaginably high, and the margin for error is razor thin. The flaws in the system serve as a stark reminder of the perilous balance of power that governs our world, a balance that could be shattered in an instant. As we move forward, understanding these vulnerabilities and striving to address them is crucial. The fate of humanity may well depend on our ability to navigate these treacherous waters, to find common ground, and to ensure that the guardians at the gate never have to make that fateful decision. The blinding flash, visible for hundreds of miles, would be the first sign of impending doom. A mushroom cloud, a terrifying spectacle of fire and fury, would rise into the sky, casting an eerie glow over the devastated landscape. The immediate aftermath of a nuclear detonation is a scene of unimaginable horror. Buildings would be reduced to rubble, streets transformed into fiery chasms, and the air itself would crackle with deadly radiation. The blast wave, traveling faster than the speed of sound, would pulverize everything in its path. Those caught in the open would be vaporized instantly, while others would face a slower, agonizing death from radiation sickness. The lucky ones, if you can call them that, would find themselves trapped beneath the debris, their fate uncertain. But the devastation wouldn't end there. Radioactive fallout, carried by the wind, would contaminate vast areas, poisoning the water, the soil, and the air we breathe. The long-term consequences of nuclear war are even more terrifying than the initial blast. Cancers would skyrocket, birth defects would become commonplace, and the very fabric of society would unravel. The world as we know it would cease to exist. The global economy would collapse, governments would crumble, and humanity would be plunged into a new dark age. The survivors, haunted by the ghosts of the past, would envy the dead. In the wake of a nuclear exchange, a pall of darkness would descend upon the earth. Smoke and debris from burning cities would rise into the upper atmosphere, blocking out the sun and plunging the planet into a perpetual twilight. This nuclear winter, as scientists call it, would have devastating consequences for all life on Earth. Temperatures would plummet, causing widespread crop failures and leading to mass starvation. The delicate balance of the ecosystem would be disrupted, leading to the extinction of countless species. The survivors, huddled in makeshift shelters, would face a daily struggle for survival. The loss of sunlight would have other insidious effects. Vitamin D deficiency would become rampant, weakening immune systems and making people more susceptible to disease. The psychological impact of living in a perpetual twilight, shrouded in darkness and fear, would be immeasurable. The long winter, a testament to humanity's folly, would serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of our existence. The once vibrant planet, now a desolate wasteland, would stand as a silent indictment of our capacity for self-destruction. The world that emerges from the ashes of nuclear war would be vastly different from the one we know. The political landscape would be redrawn, with new alliances and rivalries emerging from the chaos. The survivors, hardened by the experience, would have to rebuild from scratch, forging a new society from the ruins of the old. The concept of nation-states, already under strain in the 21st century, could dissolve entirely. Regional powers, defined by their control of resources and their ability to project force, might rise to prominence. The rule of law, already fragile in many parts of the world, could give way to a more brutal Darwinian order. The environment, scarred by nuclear winter and contaminated by radiation, would pose significant challenges to rebuilding. Food and clean water would be scarce, leading to conflict and competition for resources. The survivors would have to adapt to a world where the old rules no longer apply. The post-nuclear world would be a harsh and unforgiving place, a stark reminder of the consequences of our actions. Yet, even amidst the devastation, there would be hope. The human spirit, resilient and adaptable, would find a way to endure. The specter of nuclear war hangs over humanity like a Damocles sword, a constant reminder of our capacity for self-destruction. The end of the Cold War did not erase the threat, it merely transformed it. The proliferation of nuclear weapons, the rise of new nuclear states, and the potential for terrorist groups to acquire such weapons have made the world a more dangerous place. The only way to ensure that nuclear weapons are never used again is to eliminate them entirely. This is a daunting task, but it is not impossible. The international community has made some progress in reducing nuclear arsenals, but much more needs to be done. We need to strengthen the global non-proliferation regime, prevent the spread of nuclear technology, and work towards the eventual elimination of all nuclear weapons. This requires political will, diplomatic effort, and a shared commitment to a future free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. The choice is ours. We can continue down the path of nuclear proliferation, risking a future defined by fear and uncertainty. Or we can choose a different path, one that leads to a safer, more peaceful world for ourselves and future generations. The future of humanity may very well depend on the choices we make today.